Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and YouTubers alike. My name is John Ferraro. I'm the sports editor for the Woodward at Marywood University, and this is Paul Capoccia, my assistant sports editor.
Glad to be here, John.
We are going to break down the NBA playoffs. Not all matchups are set. Not all seeding is done, but when that seeding is done, tomorrow I will be writing a story based on the seeding. But if the playoffs started today, the last day of the regular season, we're going to break down the matchups for you, go over the top four seeds and how they match up to their potential opponents in this playoff run. We'll start with the West, the very fun conference. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and the more holier-than-thou Warriors facing, for now, right now, at this moment, the Houston Rockets. What are your thoughts on it?
I want to give the Rockets at least one game. I think James Harden's good enough to carry a team for a game. If Curry and Thompson have an off night, which they've had before, the last month you look, they've had a couple. I'd give the Rockets a game. If the Rockets happen to lose tonight and the Jazz win, the Jazz will get in. I'd say sweep over the Jazz, but the Rockets, I'll give them a game.
Yeah, I think Steph Curry, there's too much firepower because you have Harrison Barnes, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson. You could go down that lineup. And the Rockets are so dysfunctional. We talked about the Cavaliers, but the Rockets, after going to the Western Conference Finals last year.
You fire your coach after, 10 games?
Fire the coach after 11 games. They've been a dysfunctional wreck. And the Warriors have been dominant. They may break the all-time season most wins in a regular season. I think the firepower and the backcourt, the way they can shoot the ball, you could have maybe an off night and give the Rockets or even the Jazz a game. I would give the Jazz a game too, but the Warriors win maybe in a sweep, maybe in 5 games.
Definitely. Our next match, we got San Antonio and the Grizzlies. You going to give the Grizzlies a game?
The Grizzlies
with nobody left?
The Grizzlies are so depleted with Marc Gasol being out, and that's a big time loss because you look at San Antonio. LaMarcus Aldridge, the big addition, we talked about it in our NBA season preview. That was the big addition for them. You have Tim Duncan, the experience down low. You have Kawhi Leonard. To me, he's arguably the MVP. You can make an argument. You can make a case for him. He's not the best player on the best team, but you look at the San Antonio Spurs. They swept Memphis in the regular season. I just don't see the Memphis Grizzlies. They may get a game because of their grit and their will to try and win, because we saw what happened with the Warriors, but I just don't see it. I see the Spurs maybe sweeping them.
That's what I see, too, because it's amazing when you look at a team like the Spurs. Their big three, Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker, and
aren't
the best players.
Yeah.
You have Kawhi Leonard and LaMarcus Aldridge. Kawhi, probably the most versatile all-around player in the league.
Defensively, offensively, yeah.
I'd take him over Draymond Green any day. Maybe some people wouldn't. But for the Grizzlies, with so many people gone, I just, like you said, grit. They can maybe scratch out a game. Just pure will, a Vince Carter crazy night or something, which I'd love to see.
Vinsanity, baby.
Vinsanity. Please come back. Give them a game.
But, I mean, even the experience alone for San Antonio. And the Memphis, even when they were healthy, they only had defense to really fall back on. They didn't really have the offensive prowess.
They just don't have the production.
The other teams do. I take the Spurs in a sweep.
Next one, we got OKC and Dallas.
Another regular season matchup where OKC swept the Mavericks, but what do you see in this matchup?
I think Dirk Nowitzki's got to do something on the way out. All of a sudden now, him and Darren Williams have just been putting on a show. I think I'll give them probably...
Darren Williams reigniting his career in Dallas.
He's always had such talent. He either gets hurt or he doesn't have a good team around him. I mean, there's a lot of excuses you can make for him. He should have been a superstar somewhere along the line. I'm going to give Dallas probably 2 games. I think Oklahoma City's just too stacked across the board with Ibaka, Durant, and Westbrook. I mean, you're putting up 90 points a game with them alone. I'll give Dallas
80,
a game or 2.
points a game
It's insanity.
With them alone. I don't think
they're their own team.
They haven't averaged 45 apiece, but I will say this about Dallas. They do fight hard. I think the Spurs would be a better matchup for Dallas personally.
Oh, definitely.
But the problem OKC is going to run into, not in the first round, but in later rounds, they're really top-heavy. Durant and Westbrook take a lot of that load. They have to be great every single night for them to advance farther in the playoffs. But I think over Dallas, maybe 5-6 games. I would give Dirk, out of pure respect for Dirk, and
a game or two. You have to.
A game or two. Plus, they still have Chandler Parsons. They still have other pieces, but I don't think they mesh well enough to combat the firepower. And I think for Oklahoma City, they need a third scorer. They need somebody to step up every night. Serge Ibaka, Enes Kanter, whoever that's going to
Yeah,
be.
they
They
really
need
do
that,
need it.
especially against maybe the Spurs, the Warriors down the line. I'll take the Oklahoma City in 6. I'll give Dirk 2 games.
Yeah, I'll give Dirk 2.
Yeah.
I can see Dirk getting 2. Next one, Clippers and Trailblazers. Upset? I'm taking the Blazers for a couple reasons. I think their backcourt's just tremendous. You've got C.J. McCollum having a monster year, Damian Lillard playing out of his mind. People would take notice of that if it wasn't Steph Curry lighting it up every night. And then the Clippers are just so dysfunctional. Blake Griffin, he's back, but like he's not in shape. Doc even said last week he's not in shape. DeAndre Jordan can't shoot free throws when it matters, and Chris Paul can only do so much. If Jamal Crawford has an off shooting night, I'll take the Blazers in 7.
Wow. I think the 4 and the 5 for the Clippers completely decimate Portland's 4 or 5 matchup. But Portland just, I don't know, something about them is likable. I can't see Chris Paul. After I watched that Spurs-Clippers series, I know the Clippers aren't the same team, but they have a lot of the same pieces. After I saw that, I can't get that out of my mind. I think Chris Paul can will his team as a veteran point guard with Blake Griffin, and I think Blake Griffin can turn it up if he needs to in the playoffs. But DeAndre Jordan is the one weak link because you can't play him in the fourth quarter because you could hack a DeAndre, and I know Adam Silver wants to get rid of that rule or create a rule to get rid of it, but it still can happen, and you can't play him, so you lose that size inside. I just think Lob City is going to carry this, but it's going to go 6 or 7 games.
Yeah, I think they're just too close.
Yeah.
If we're let's jump into the East, the easy one, Cleveland and Detroit. Your thoughts?
I think LeBron James, and I said this before the season, if the Cavs are going to make it, LeBron's going to will his team at this point. LeBron hasn't lost the East in 6 seasons. I don't see that happening again, especially in the first round matchup. A potential sweep. And even though the Cavs are dysfunctional, I think it's because the Warriors are about to potentially break the regular season win total record, and the Spurs are 40-1 at home. If the Spurs and Warriors had like 50 wins apiece, the Cleveland Cavaliers would be cruising. It would be rainbows and butterflies in the playoffs, but it's not. There's dissension in the ranks, and LeBron's unfollowing the Cavs on Twitter, and all this drama. The fact of the matter is LeBron and the Cavs are going to roll over the Detroit Pistons. Maybe I'll give them a game. Maybe it's 5. But I think they definitely get past the first round.
Yeah, I'll give Detroit a game just because I think they have a solid framework. I mean, they've got Reggie Jackson, they've got Andre Jordan.
Reggie Jackson is, again,
or Andre
another
Drummond.
one.
Yeah, he's something. He can put up triple doubles like I remember having him just watching his stat lines, just triple doubles. I'm like, where did he come from again? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Where was this in OKC? They should have.
Well,
another guy they should have.
it was Russell and Kevin.
But at the end
and
of the day, it's the Cavaliers and LeBron.
Definitely.
Against a young Pistons team.
Definitely.
I'll give the Pistons a game, but I think that's it. Then we've got the Pacers and the Raptors.
You like the Pacers?
My man, PG-13, play the 4. I am so tired of reading every week that he won't play the 4. He won't play that flex 4 position. You've got Solomon Hill that could come in and flex. You've got Rodney Stuckey that can flex. Monte Ellis. Come on, man.
PG-13.
You
play
gotta
the 4. If you're
rebound.
watching this, PG-13, play the 4.
Play the 4. Miles Turner's good. Jordan Hill can come in and play great down low. They've got depth at every position.
They got, Monte Ellis and George Hill.
Yeah, if you just flex into the 4, you open up the whole floor. You're gonna get more threes. You don't have to rebound like crazy. I mean, Russell Westbrook gets 1 billion rebounds a night. You don't. Other guys will take care of it.
Well, look at the other side though. I mean, you have the Raptors. They just DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry. That's a dynamic
It's
two.
dangerous.
It's a dynamic 2, and I like the Pacers. I really do, but when you look at this Pacers team of old, when you have the true center Roy Hibbert who actually played well, when he played well for that season and a half, they were dominant, and they could be dominant for a game, maybe 2. But I'll give it to the Raptors. They've been consistently really good all year, and I see that transitioning into the playoffs. I'll take the Raptors in 5.
I'll take the Pacers in 6.
Ooh, Pacers.
I'm gonna go Pacers.
You're PG-13. You heard it here
PG-13.
first.
Watch out, parents. Don't let your kids watch that. It's gonna be a crazy series. So as of now, the matchups that we have, the Heat
As
and the
of
Hornets.
now, right now.
Heat and the Hornets. Your thoughts?
I love the Heat. I picked the Heat to face the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals before the season started because of the firepower that they had. I didn't think Justice Winslow would be as good as he has turned out to be. Joe Johnson has been the
The
reason why they've been
revival of Joe Cool.
red hot these past 10, 15 games. But they've been really, really good. If D-Wade could turn back the clocks, I think you still need Chris Bosh. I know the rotations have been better with him out of the lineup, but if you have Chris Bosh and you lose that 18 points, almost 10 rebounds, I think he was averaging 10 or 11 a game.
Yeah.
That's big in the playoffs. But I like Charlotte to a point, but Miami with Winslow and Hassan Whiteside's a beast down low. He's a blocking machine. Amari Stoudemire's playing well. Amari Stoudemire. You talk
Look who's
about
back.
reviving careers, but I would take the Heat in 6.
It's got to be the beautiful Miami beaches, that water.
It's that water.
It's that water. I got to agree. I think Kemba Walker has some great stuff going on. He's put up a lot of 30 and 40-point games down the stretch here. Al Jefferson shows a lot of promise. The whole roster does. I think the Hornets are going to keep being one of those on-the-cusp teams trying to move up. If they get the right draft picks, the right trade, the right free agent, they can be big. But the Heat just have so much to offer. When you have a lineup just filled with all-stars and just first-team NBA players, even without Bosh, it's hard to pick against them.
Even if I think the Heat were in that 4 in the East, they were 4th in the East to face the Celtics, I think it would be a tougher matchup, but I think they could get it done in 6 games too.
I'll take the Heat in 6.
Yeah. Looking at our last matchup for the East.
Well, we got the Hawks and the Celtics. The Hawks are a disappointment this year. I think.
Looking at the year that they had last year, the 5 players named players of the month,
yeah.
of the whatever it was. But yeah, you look at this. I don't think they have the same chemistry as they did last year, and I think the Celtics are more of a team than they are the Atlanta Hawks of last year. The
Definitely.
Boston Celtics. The problem with them is they don't have a star to go to in the fourth quarter. That go-to shot, the last 2 minutes of the game. It could be Isaiah Thomas, and we saw that in the Warriors game.
It definitely could be.
I will pick the Celtics in 6 games.
And I too will pick the Celtics in 6. I think across the board it's the most boring series because you don't have a superstar, you don't have a crazy
It could be
shooter.
the best
Fundamental
pure games.
basketball.
Yeah, fundamental basketball.
It's going to be a lot of grinding inside. So rapid fire, looking to eat the West, big picture. Warriors,
Spurs. Everybody wants to see it. That is the dream of every basketball fan. The 1, the 2, the 2 best teams in the league in the Western Conference
2 of
Finals.
the best ever.
And
let's face
not
it.
in the first round like last year. The last series of the West could be amazing. Like, could be a thriller because nobody loses at home. The Warriors don't lose at home barely, and the Spurs really don't lose at home. That could be a match made in heaven for basketball fans, and I would pick the Spurs in 7 because I picked the Spurs before the season to make it to the finals. I'll pick them. What about you, your Western Conference Finals?
I agree. I'm going to go Warriors, Spurs. And I hate to do it. I want to disagree, but I'm going Spurs too because I don't think the Warriors can do it again.
I think
the fatigue of a full
we are
season
we are just sick and tired of the fact that the Warriors are getting talked about now. Like they're more holier than thou. I think that's a problem. I think people are sick
they're
of
going to be
them.
exhausted. I think at the end there's so much expectations and stress
But
on top of this year. You're not an underdog.
They are healthy.
They are healthy.
Not like the Cavs last year. Now moving on.
Spurs are healthy though too.
Eastern Conference Finals. Quick.
Heat, depending on the seedings, hopefully it could be Heat and Cavs. That's what I want to see. I want to take the Heat in that.
Heat, Cavs.
If it can happen, I'll take the Heat.
Heat,
6.
Heat, Cavs in 7. Cavs, Spurs. I gotta take the Spurs. My heart says the Cavs. Spurs win the title again for the 6th time, and Pop looks like a genius again.
Yeah, I think I'd take the Spurs in any finals, either the Heat, the Cavs, the Raptors by some miracle. I'm taking the Spurs in 6 or 7 in the finals.
All right, well, that was awesome. We got rapid fire stuff there. Check out my article tomorrow with the proper seating and my proper analysis. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this.